Hey everyone, welcome to what is actually two episodes in one. This is number 85 for those of you continuing on with me from my old podcast and transitioning into this new one, and episode one for all of you that are joining me for the first time in my new rebranded podcast. So that's going to be really confusing to those of you that have no idea what I'm talking about. So let me tell you real quick what I'm doing. So I am a licensed therapist and I have had this general kind of therapy podcast for almost 2 years. There were 85 episodes. I did an episode every week, with the exception of a few weeks that I was unavailable. And it was just about general topics, kind of life and hardship and kind of things that most of us can relate to. But I decided a few weeks ago to do a complete rebrand of the podcast because I have started, in addition to my counseling practice business, I started a new business, completely separate business where I work only with married couples with children who want to focus on reprioritizing their marriage after having kids and just kind of getting their marriage back to a good place. So I decided that I wanted this podcast to be focused on that topic. I wanted to kind of focus in, give it a really specific area instead of it being this general counseling thing. It's just specifically, it's not counseling, it's just marriage and parenting, and it's just the real life stuff that, as a therapist, I will have aspects of it that are therapeutic, but it's not coming from a therapy perspective as in like its foundation. So what I'm really excited about with this podcast, this rebrand, is that what I wanted to do with the first podcast that I just really didn't schedule or budget my time well was to have more guests. Honestly, I was just recording them when I had time during my week and between my clients, and I didn't have a lot of planning ahead that went into it. I would just sit down and pick a topic and just go with it. But I want to do it differently now. There will be some of that where it's just me, but it's more fun when there are other people in this with me, or whenever you got a guest on a podcast, it's usually more fun. So I've got a really fun lineup of people. I mean, people from like, some of them are going to be other therapists, some of my friends, some of my family members, random people that I know who have fun stories to share about their marriage and their parenting. I think the first session is actually going to be with my best friend, so that's going to be really fun. And my husband doesn't know it, but at some point I'm going to talk him into doing an episode with me as well. We'll see how that goes. So I wanted to take the time today to really kind of explain to you why I'm doing this, get you to be excited about this with me. And so, starting next week, my friend Jenny, my best friend's going to be on here with me. Originally, I did these on Fridays. I released a new episode on Friday, and, that was my plan, is continue doing this on Fridays. But I actually think I'm going to switch it up to Mondays. So you're probably going to be getting this on a Monday. Because that way it gives me the weekend to kind of get things edited and ready to go and not just try to force it into my busy work week. So hopefully that works out. We'll see how it goes by the time I actually post this. But I am really excited because the more and more that I kind of delve into my coaching business, the more I'm realizing how big this topic is. I mean, the topics within it, the micro topics, are endless. I mean, the things that we can talk about when it comes to a relationship, marriage, parenting, there is no shortage of topics that we can cover. And I'm really excited because the stuff I've been pouring into so like right now, I haven't started taking clients for my coaching business yet. I'm really just nurturing the free Facebook group that I have, trying to do some free live trainings and do a bunch of resources and stuff in there. And then here pretty soon, I kind of have been working through my own, just putting off the thing that makes me nervous, which is taking clients, but I'm ready. I've kind of decided that that's something that I'm going to start doing soon. And so hopefully by the end of this month, by the end of October, I will be opening up to start taking clients. But as I'm kind of nurturing the Facebook group and doing trainings and stuff like that, there's really such a wide range of couples, because the group is only for married couples with kids. And I'm seeing such a variety of need coming up within that group, because some people will post publicly within the group, some people just message me privately and we have conversations, but there is such a need for just this kind of really just the idea of nurturing your marriage. Some people who have more serious marital issues, counseling is a really good option for that. But when it's not something super serious, but you just need to focus and dedicate time to improving communication and the way you treat each other, the way you encourage each other, the way you get on the same page about household roles and responsibilities, the way you get on the same page about your parenting decisions, intimacy, financial stuff, like just really being able to do this partnership better together. There's such a need to just get support and guidance that comes in the form of these little trainings and videos and articles and things like that. And yeah, we have the ability to research that online anytime we want. But being in a community, in a Facebook group that is dedicated just for that, it just, I don't know, it can pop up in our lives a little differently, so we don't have to go searching for it. It's already there. And that's what I wanted to do with this podcast, is just give more real life insight to none of us are perfect. Every marriage has its issues, but every marriage deserves the attention to make it better, and if you can hear from me and other professionals and real life people that are not professionals in this area, and just, couples that have done it right and couples that are still trying to figure out how to do it right, that can be really encouraging, especially when we live in a world where, we're surrounded by social media that just puts up the best of the best all the time. People's perfect lives seem to be displayed on there, but no one's life is perfect. It's not possible. It's not a thing. But even people who struggle when it comes to social media, they tend not to share those real life struggles. Some people do, but for the most part, I think on our kind of day-to-day feed that we see on Facebook or Instagram or wherever, you're just seeing the highlights of the good stuff. And that can be really discouraging for an average couple that doesn't always feel that, because then you start to wonder, well, are we the only ones struggling? These people post this stuff online and everyone seems to be great in their family and they're not frustrated with each other and their kids don't act out. But the reality is, yes, they do. They're just not showing you that because it's usually embarrassing and no one wants to talk about their, dumpster fires that are happening in their home on a fairly regular basis. But I think we all just need to normalize that we all have issues and we all, again, can do something to improve them. We're all responsible for that. I'm big on personal responsibility. If there's something in my life that's not going well, I'm going to try to fix it. I'm going to try to learn how to do it better. There's always room for growth. There's always things I could be doing better. There are always ways to learn that I haven't explored yet. But I keep trying. So my challenge for you is to keep trying, to always, always give your marriage the attention that it deserves, because you married this person for a reason. You chose them for your life partner because you probably liked them and loved them. And so why is it that we don't dedicate time and energy for that person the way we do a lot of other things? We are good at putting things on our to-do list that have to get done, chores and responsibilities, but how often are we putting things on our to-do list that are more personal, that are about nurturing our marriage, sending a text of encouragement or just cuteness or flirtation with your spouse, or remembering to pick up your spouse's favorite candy when you run into the store, or just doing something for them? I mean, how often do we really dedicate time to that? Most people don't. Most people are busy. There are people I work with that barely have enough time to eat their breakfast because they're so busy or they just don't prioritize that. So, we all have to prioritize the things that are important to us. And I'm here to talk to you specifically about your relationship, how you show up in your marriage, how you show up as a parent. Those are all things that you can control, and they are two of the biggest responsibilities you will have in your entire life. So if you can manage to really improve the way that you parent and the way that you show up in your marriage, you're setting a foundation for a fantastic life. Because you know that if your marriage is not in a great place, or if you're really in a stressed out phase with your kids, then you feel that in every part of your life. it spills over because it is such a huge part of your life that it's hard to pretend like that doesn't exist. Yeah, you may be able to distract yourself for a little bit from it, but ultimately, it completely impacts your mood, it impacts everything in your day. So, we have to get down to those priorities and we have to spend time nurturing our relationships with our spouse, our kids. Those are very, very important, right? So, as you hopefully tune into this with me, I really, really hope that I can give you, by, the things that I say and people that I bring on here, I hope we can give you some real life applications. Some of them are going to be really, maybe tips to implement, and some of them are just going to be stories of how people got from, the hardships to being stronger. And I'm really excited about that. I think we could all use that kind of the support through just hearing other people's stories. But I absolutely believe in techniques and strategies that'll get you to do better in every aspect of your life. What I tell people about, the difference between doing relationship counseling and relationship coaching, counseling is about having usually it's about having some kind of mental health issue, right? So if there's a foundation to the problem in the marriage that maybe stems from some kind of mental health situation, or maybe there's something that's more severe like abuse or trauma or infidelity, something like that. But when we're doing coaching, it's just guidance. If you go into a counseling session as a couple, you're going to do a lot of talking. You're going to talk through what's going on and how you feel and how your spouse feels and all of that. In coaching, I'm doing the talking. I'm teaching you strategies. I'm teaching you things that you can do to implement in your marriage that are, stuff that's backed by research, stuff that's backed by, my experience as a therapist working for years with couples and families and individuals. And so it's cool because it doesn't require as much emotional, you don't have to invest as much in a talking session. You're more going to receive and apply. And so in these podcasts, you're going to hear things that you will just naturally internalize and apply. And maybe you have questions that you can come back. You might have things you disagree with, and that's always great too. So if you have anything specific that you want me to target in these episodes or guests that you want me to try to get on here, let me know. I'll try my best. So this is your first shorty introduction episode. Next week, we'll get to dive into more fun stuff. So I hope that you'll tune in. I hope that you will go along this new podcast journey with me. I'm really excited. I feel like this, I really loved doing the general therapy podcast, but this is different for me. I feel like it's really gonna line up more with what I'm passionate about and what I enjoy talking about. So I'm excited. We'll see how it goes. All right, folks, thanks for tuning in today, and I'll see you when we officially start up next week. All right, take care. Bye.